Good evening, everyone. How is everybody doing?
Good, thank you.
Great. Appreciate everybody's time. It's Friday night, and we are here once again with Eretmis Cyber Chat. Tomorrow is Val's Day. Happy Val's Day to everyone. So tonight, we are going to continue with our own sharing their cybersecurity career switch journey. And tonight we have our very own Cyril is going to be here. Is here. He's going to be sharing his story with us. But before we begin, we are going to at least dedicate 5 minutes to 6 minutes just to do some Q&As before we jump into our main event for the night. So if you have any questions, anything cybersecurity, you can bring it up, and I'll try my best to answer. And there are some folks on here who can also help as well to kind of strengthen the network. So if you have any questions, you can raise your virtual hand, you bring it up whilst we're doing some housekeeping stuff, and then we will take it from there. So any questions from the group? Some cybersecurity questions hanging out there that you might be toying with, or even, if you're already in the industry, if you have some issues, concerns on the job, you can also bring it up as well. And Cyril is here, so let me just go ahead and okay, make sure I'll pin you on here, Cyril. Any cyber news for the week? We are going to go through it's going to be a very interesting discussion, so there wouldn't be kind of enough time for cyber news. There are some questions in the chat. Programming in cybersecurity, is it really a necessity? Programming in GRC, is it a necessity? So programming in cybersecurity depends on which side of cybersecurity you are. That will determine whether programming is going to be required or mandated. In cybersecurity, we have traditionally two main parts of cybersecurity: defensive and offensive cybersecurity, right? If you're on the defensive side, that is where you do everything, including GRC. If you're on the offensive side, that is the attack side. That is the side where you have pen testers, or ethical hackers, forensics, and some of the typical cybersecurity architecture stuff, is done on that side. So on that side is where you really need to know coding, programming. You can do away with programming if you want to do pen testing, right? Or ethical hacking, which is the same, or even forensics. You cannot do without. But on the GRC side, on the defensive side, you don't really need to know program to be able to function, right? So if you know it as a plus, but you're really not going to use it for the most part. When does okay, so Lama is asking when the AI governance course is going to start. It's going to start on the 24th. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's going to be on the 24th, right after. Yes, on the 24th. I'm right. I got that right. Okay. And if you're joining us for the first time, you can put #TeamLive in the chat, and you can use that for your certificate renewal. So with that, I think we are ready to roll. Any other questions you can put in the chat? So welcome everyone once again. We are starting off time now. This is Eretmis Cyber Chat. We do this every Friday night. If you are joining us for the first time, you are welcome to the Eretmis family. We meet Friday nights as a community. We discuss different cybersecurity topics, and this is always the place to learn, network, and to grow. And we appreciate your time here. And like I always say, you are going to get something for your toolbox. Now, tonight's discussion, we are looking at the journey of Cyril, jumping from, whatever he was doing that he's going to talk about into cybersecurity. Now, the title for tonight's topic is picked partly from when, he was given he was a guest speaker during one of the graduation ceremonies. So we just picked bits and pieces of what he said, and that is what we use for the tag. So he thought switching into GRC. He had done some IT stuff previously, so this would be something that he could do on his own. But he found out it wasn't that simple, right? So you are welcome. I'm Dr. Emmanuel Ledu. I'm a former United States Army captain, member of the Force Technology Council, former professor at University of Maryland Global Campus and CTC, and the CEO of Eretmis Inc. We are a PCI QSA company and a cybersecurity consulting firm based out of New York, and the founder of Eretmis Academy. And Eretmis, we are partners with CompTIA, authorized partners. And what that means is that we have 20% discount on all our on all CompTIA vouchers, exam vouchers. So if you're trying to sit for any of these, you can let us know, and we will afford you the 20%. And then also, if you're looking to renew your certification, we encourage you to. There are two ways actually. You can resit for the exam, or you can use continuing educational points, or if you attend programs like this, each 45 minutes counts as one CPE or CEU. That is educational points that you can use to renew your certification. The different certification bodies, they need certain numbers. I think CompTIA needs probably like 50 or thereabout. ISACA and ISE Square, they also need, I think, 40 or 20 every year for 3 years, right? So if you put hashtag Team Live in there, you can use that. Now we have a WhatsApp group, and the link is going to be posted, so you'll be able to use that to join our Eretmis Cyber Chat WhatsApp group. And then also we are on the school platform. On the school platform is similar to WhatsApp, but we can post more stuff, and it's more structured. So we are gradually moving our community on there as well. So we encourage you to join that as well. And for tonight, we started with our Q&A, and we are going to be looking at Serial's journey. But before we do, our Val's Day sales is starting today. It ends on the 27th. And then also for during the week, or our prices, like we announced before the end of the year, going up, but now we are restructuring it where there will be other lower tiers, so you can still get in at even a lower cost. And then there's going to be also, the higher ones for more of premium with some added benefits. So there's something for everybody, right? So it's not, the price is not going up just to, for folks who cannot afford those prices, to take them out. You can all benefit from the training. So we have different tiers, and that is going to be posted. If you go to the site, now we've made some adjustment across board, but we are still restructuring the pricing. So, but for the 30%, it affects the prices that are on there now, right? And for our 7-day challenge, if you were unable to join us, I think on Tuesday for the 7-day challenge demonstration, you really missed out. We posted some of the excerpts of the clip, and the main video is going to be posted on our YouTube channel, so you can take a look at it. What we did was we had our participants of the 7-day challenge. They were demonstrating what they were able to learn, or the skills and knowledge they acquired during the 7 days, and some of the AI products that they built. So they showcased that, and we came up with the winners. The winners were supposed to be announced on Wednesday, so we did announce the winners. And during the demonstration, it was obviously I mean, everybody could attest to who was going to be first or second or third. So some people, everybody did well. I think we started with almost 35 folks participating, but then we shortlisted almost 5 for the presentation, and based on that, we came up with first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Right. So number 1, the first place went to Lama. The second place went to Kofi. The third place went to Karen, and then Louis and Augustine took the 5th place. So this is 1 out of 5 out of 35. I think we had 35 or 32 people participating in it. So they did really well. Excellent job. A lot of hard work went into this. The overall winner, Lama, gets a scholarship into the AI Governance Specialist course, which is starting on the 23rd. And the new challenge is starting the AI course actually starts on the 24th. The new challenge starts on the 23rd to the 1st March is when we are going to be doing the new 7 days. So the enrollment is open. We have 15 discount spots for early bird. So if you're looking to jump onto this, you are probably using AI wrong if you've not been through the 7-day challenge. So come in there, you are going to learn a lot for yourself, for work as well. So even if outside cybersecurity space, and if you're a cybersecurity professional, you are going to learn AI as we use it in the cyberspace and GRC, and how to also protect AI from that perspective. But then there's more fun stuff, like how to create your own voice agent and stuff like that, right? So we encourage you to join that. And with that, our Valentine's Day sale began today, so it is still ongoing. Now, for our courses, if you are looking to break into cybersecurity, we encourage you to look into our cybersecurity entry-level course. This is the best course that is going to help you move from where you are, depending on whatever, but regardless of the background, to move into straight into the cybersecurity space, right? And it's not just theory, it comes with hands-on, where you're going to work on different cybersecurity projects, become job ready, and ace your interviews and land your first cybersecurity role, right? And we also help with interview prep and all that as well, resume prep and all that as well, right? And if you've done some training in the past, you have a degree, you have a master's, bachelor's in cybersecurity, associates, you have some bootcamp elsewhere, but you really know you cannot do the job if you are given the chance. This is where you get your hands dirty working on cybersecurity projects. And working on projects is not just using tools. Using a tool to do a scan is good, but that is not any project necessarily by any means. Anybody can show you how to do that in less than 20 minutes, but I cannot show you how to conduct risk assessment in less than 20 minutes, right? And if you've not also actually done it, then on the job, what are you really going to do? Now, this program takes you through 8 to 10 major cybersecurity projects where you're actually working on the projects, not just theory, working on the project. So once you're done, you have a history in cybersecurity that you can talk about during interviews. And that is what employers are looking for, not just what you know and just theory. And then also, if you've started in the cybersecurity space, or you are starting, you've done your training, you are ready to break into the market, we encourage you to look into the cloud security course as well. Now, this is the course that every cybersecurity professional should take. Now, it is not just cloud security, but cloud security and compliance, combination of it. Now, this also cuts across AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. It is vendor neutral, very hands-on. So you are going to learn not just the foundation in these 3 platforms, but also how to move around and work, do audits in this space as well. And then our AI governance for everyone, all cybersecurity professionals, aspiring cybersecurity professionals, we encourage you to jump onto the upcoming AI governance course. Now, AI governance is gradually or is part of your role as a cybersecurity professional now. Most companies now, they are adding that to your cybersecurity role. So it is only prudent you get ahead of it before it gets too late, right? So kindly hold one. No, I think there are a lot of people in the chat. I'm just letting them in. Okay. All right. So as we move along, we are wrapping up on our housekeeping and then also our PCI DSS. If you are looking to specialize in the most arguably lucrative niche in the cybersecurity space, we encourage you to look into the PCI DSS space. Now, this is by far the highest paying role for most of our students. Now, students from entry level and others, they are making 6 figures, mid 6 figures, higher 6 figures, but students in the PCI class, they are making the 200s, right? 200 plus, right? So when I say arguably the most lucrative, and as Eretmis Inc. as a company, a consulting firm, this is our specialty, right? Out of everything we do in cybersecurity, so we know this market more than anybody else. This is one of the most lucrative niches in the cybersecurity space, right? And with that, we are going to move into our conversation for tonight. And before we do, let me make sure we have everybody in. Okay, so there were a couple of folks in the lobby waiting. Now they are all in. All right. So tonight, this is going to be how we are going to go about it. As we are going along, if you have any questions, you can kindly raise your virtual hand, and we allow you to ask your question. And you wait for your answer. If you have any follow-ups, you kindly raise your virtual hand, and we will let you in as well. Right. So without wasting much time, Serial, you are welcome. Now to introduce Serial, Serial was part of our one of the many internship cohorts last year, I believe, right? I think early last year. So he completed the program, got a job. I wasn't even aware of it. I think it was later, later on, a month or something thereabout, that I heard this from, I think, Gabriel, right? Or one of his colleagues who had also gotten a job, and we were doing some, uh, follow up on what he's doing on the job and stuff. And then he mentioned that Cyril also got a job. I'm like, oh, Cyril didn't even reach out yet. All right. So we are going to give Cyril the floor, and he's going to introduce himself, and he's going to introduce himself and then walk us through why you even chose to pursue anything in cybersecurity. So your background, you can give us more information about your background, and when you start, wherever you get to, you continue from there. So Cyril, the floor is yours.
Hello. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Adu. Um, Sorry, that, I'm not on camera because I don't think I'm in a good spot today. But anyway, thank you, Dr. Adu. That was right. So, yeah, I still haven't really officially told Dr. Adu, but yes, he found out through Gabriel. That's right, because me and Gabriel were in discussions. Gabriel was he was my mentor during my own cohort. And like Dr. Adu said last year when we were in the session, he was my mentor. So I kept in touch with him and my other mentor as well, and also my cohorts as well. Anyway, good evening to everyone. So about my journey, basically, let me just start from the beginning. I used to way back in the day, when I was in college, I used to work in the IT field way back then. Going to school, so I was just looking for something to do. Then my friend said I should do something tech support, so I did like tech support for a little bit. Then I worked in like Toshiba laptops. Then back then there was AOL. If you guys remember American Online when that first came out, dial-up service. I worked tech support for them as well. That was way back then. Then we went to DSL, Yahoo, then Microsoft. I did that. But anyway, the whole time I wanted to be doing something in the medical field. Well, that was the push from our African. Well, I'm African originally from Nigeria, so the push was to get me to medical field, maybe a doctor or something like that. So they were always pushing that. But my real love was like IT because I really enjoyed it and I wanted to do something in that field. So I went on to get my degree in biology and chemistry and started working in the healthcare field. So after working in all those IT companies, I worked in the healthcare field for a while, but I really enjoyed it. So I wanted to go back into the IT space. So, like Dr. Adu said, I was trying to do it on my own with the knowledge I had. Not knowing that my knowledge is a little archaic, I was trying to read up and really catch up on my own, do my own practicals, just like Dr. Adu said, do all those little things you see on the internet, do this lab, set up this stuff, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I thought I was doing something, I was working out, getting my new knowledge. Then I tried to get a job and, do something in cybersecurity because I heard that was a new niche. And I found out that I couldn't really do it on my own. You know, I took some other courses, and I just found out I was really struggling to actually keep up. So I was doing my research, trying to find out who I could because there are a lot of people that sell you dust or phonies, will I say, on on the internet, and everywhere that tell you all this stuff they can do. And I was really trying to do my due diligence to find someone. Then I came across Dr. Adu's um, sessions just like this on YouTube, and I was watching them. And I was like, "Ah, he's very knowledgeable." I started watching a lot of them, and watching his interviews. I was watching how he was answering questions. I read all his stuff. I looked him up like everybody does. Looked up his degree, looked him up where it's taught. I was really impressed. So I decided to call him. I asked him what he thought I should do and how I should proceed. And he told me I should join the GRC course. And if I already had some IT experience, I would be fine. So I did that. So when I was going through the process, it was just like, to me, I was like really shocked because he set it up, the way he set it up was really, really nice. Like he went through all these different domains. Like at the time, I didn't know what he had set up, right? I just thought, okay, I'll get through this stuff and I'll just go start applying for a job. But I didn't really understand his process with the whole thing. It wasn't until I started working, I started really realizing what he did. So just to give you an example, there was one of the classes we took, and he just said, just look at this problem and see how you guys can fix this. And we came up with the solution, like a group, and how we should fix the problem. There was something about something not encrypted, some old databases on this issue, and we talked about it, and he gave us like leads and told us how we would really do it in the real world. And to my to my surprise, when I started working, I'm jumping forward, I'm going backwards now. When I started working, it was like I was dreaming. The same scenario happened, and it was just the same thing. And I was like, wow. So I was really impressed. It was like exactly the same problem we were facing. And I work for one of the top three mobile companies, and they had the same issue. I was like, I can't believe that you guys have the same issue, and it's the same thing we did in class. So just to give you an idea, and we walked through different domains. So when I got through with the cohort and went to go do my interview after going through the cohort, my interview process was basically asking me what domains I've worked in, and me in my mind, I'm like, I think I'm comfortable with anyone, you know, because I felt like I was comfortable in any domain. So they asked me questions on different domains, and they were like, okay, I think you're ready to start this job. So when I started working, I really started realizing I was really working in different domains at different times. Because on my job, I'm a cybersecurity tech risk manager. So what I do is I handle tech risk that involves the whole enterprise. So things that are broken in process, in identifying risk, if it's processing, funding, sometimes end of life systems. Basically, risk that's probably will not be fixed on a one-time issue. It might need involvement of higher stakeholders or upper management to help fix that problem, or maybe it might be a process problem or things like that, or it might be documentation problem. I mean, the list is endless. But what I'm just saying is that from my cohort, I was able to gather enough knowledge to work in this field, and I'm very comfortable doing what I do. I have never called anybody or asked anybody for help because the knowledge I got was quite enough from my cohort. And it's very, very amazing. Like I said, the way Dr. Adu set up the program, and now I really see the whole benefit. And like I tell people, what I do now is easier than what I even did in the cohort, because now, I mean, I take my time to like resolve these cases. Then it was like a week. You had a week or so, a couple of days to resolve this. Now I have ample amount of time to resolve these issues I deal with. And sometimes even when I'm talking with stakeholders, they say they've been there 20 years, been here 25 years, and some of them don't even know some things are going on. I was like, wow, and you've been here 20 years. you know in my mind, I'm thinking that. But anyway, I just wanted to say that I really appreciate the journey going through his cohort, the way he set it up. I appreciate everything I learned. Also, dealing with people, things of that nature. When you work, and those are real life experiences you get too as well, because you do get that pushback when you work in the real world. You will deal with people that are difficult. You will deal with people that might not want to do their job. You have to figure out a way to get them to do what they need to do. So those kind of soft skills, like Dr. always emphasize, is very, very important. And also trying to massage people's ego, or to get them to do what they need to do, even though it's their job, is also a skill you have to learn. So soft skills, very important. I never knew it was, but when I heard Dr. Akul keep saying soft skills, because I was like, really, do you really need soft skills? And I started finding out that it's probably one of the most important skills you need in the cybersecurity field. Um, Basically, I know I shortened that a little bit, but my whole journey through this process was basically with my little IT knowledge I had in the past, working in healthcare, now coming back to the IT field, going through the whole process. It really made me where I am today, and I'm really appreciative of that. Thank Dr. Adu for that as well. And like I said, I think it's raising the real army. Like we have a lot of students in different places doing amazing things. So I know I made that real short, but I'm open to answer any questions anyone might have.
Thank you, Sarah. So if you have any questions, you kindly put it in the chat or you raise your virtual hand. But I'll start, asking a few couple of questions and then we'll take it from there. So going back to your background, you said you used to work in tech way back and then you switched into healthcare. You did healthcare for a while and you are looking to pivot into the cybersecurity space. Now, if you can walk us through that process, because a lot of people get stuck in that space, right? There's a lot of noise going on in the cybersecurity space in terms of training and all sort of promises and hey, we have the magic one, come and within
Yeah,
45 days you are going to get a job. And
yeah.
right now, how were you able to go through all that noise to discover Eretmis?
Okay, so so yes, there's a lot of noise going around. 45 days, 3 days training. I mean, to be honest, that is not true. You have to really work hard, but it's doable. The thing I'll say is very, very doable. You have to be dedicated and ready to work hard. So like wh- when I went through the process for me personally, um because I've tried, to be honest, I've tried some other things before meeting Dr. Adu, and you already knew some of them too. Like he was mentioning, I remember watching one video where he said you can't do third party risk. I think that's cybersecurity, and I did that, and I was laughing, And he also said something about risk management and do cybersecurity. I did that too, and that was funny because that is true. Because some people try to sell you courses on risk management, or like I saw someone put in the chat just now, like tooling. Like for instance, with me, we're changing our tools. Like we've changed our tools like 2 times already, and I've just been there almost less than a year, right? And the reason why, because we didn't like the first tool, and we had to go to the second tool. So the tooling is something you can learn on your own. 1 or 2 days you're done with the tool. So the tool is not the most important. It's your knowledge that you bring that's important. But I would say, like, if you want to transition, I would say Dr. Adu is probably the best out there because I've tried other places, didn't work, and also going through his whole process. If you go through his process the way he wants you to, you wouldn't have a problem. Just go through the process. And those meetings, you're going to have a lot of, we had late night meetings. Well, man, or sometimes we were in meetings to 1 a.m., 12 midnight. We're going through, trying to figure stuff out. So all that was a lot of hard work. All that went in for the amount of weeks we spent in the whole process. But I gained so much. And that's what you use in the real world experience. So using that practical knowledge. It's just like you're going to take your driving license test and they give you a book. They're like, hey, read this book. And you read the whole book. Yes, you know all the laws and everything, but have you driven before? It's not the same thing. When you start driving, you notice that it's a whole totally different ball game. So, Ms. Doctor, I'm just kind of giving you the test practical of actually driving a car. So you can read all you want, but if you don't drive a car, you've never driven a car before. So you have to get that driving experience. So once you get that driving experience, there's nobody that will give you a car and say drive and you can't drive. You could drive. So I think that's the way I'll put it, the best way to put it.
All right, Sarah, thank you. So one question that also comes up for career switches, years of experience, right? I mean, can I just do a 4 or 5 months course and say, what is my years of experience? And so, and we can only speak for Eretmis, right? In terms of what you're going to go through. Other places, I cannot really speak for them or to what they do, but you've gone through the process. You've started working. You've been there for quite a while now. Now, based on what you went through in terms of the knowledge and skill you gained through the program, compared to what you are doing on the job now, and other people that you've met on the job, how would you rate yourself in terms of years of experience compared to people who've been there for 20 years, 5 years?
Oh, if I was to rate myself, I'll rate myself. So the years of experience, that was one thing, to be honest, Dr. Adu, that used to throw me off when I see some job with like 3 years, 4 years experience, and I'll be like, or 10 years experience, whatever. And I'll be like, wow, they need a lot of experience to do this. But when I got in the job, like you say, to rate myself, if I was to rate myself based with other people that have been there 10 years, I'll rate myself even better than some people that have been there 10 years, 15 years, to be honest. And this is the reason. The reason is that they have very old information, and some of them, I don't know if they updating their knowledge or what it is about what's going on in the cybersecurity space, because most people just move from different places to come into cybersecurity. Like I was saying, like maybe a couple, like maybe 20 years ago or so, I don't think we had anything like cybersecurity. So it was an evolving space. But going to Eretmis, you get up to date information, you get that first hand feel, you actually practical experience of how to use like different frameworks, things of that nature. Some people they'll be telling you, oh, I don't even know what that framework is. Like when before they'll be like, oh, I don't know what ISO is, I only know NIST. I'm like, really? Those people will be like, I'm only used to NIST, I don't know anything else. Or so even NIST framework, they're only used to a certain domain. So some of them are not exposed. Just to give you an instance, there was a lady that was on my tech project manager, and she was saying she didn't know what brute force was. I was like, really? Oh, wow. So things like that amaze me. So yeah, so years of experience, I would say I would rate myself way ahead of them. So just to make it clear, it doesn't matter. Don't let that scare you. You're gonna get the knowledge you want. So the years of experience is just something they put on there. It's nothing. It doesn't really tell, because once you go through the arithmetic training, your years of you have that experience. You have the experience you need. To give you another example, I think I talked about this in the graduation ceremony. We were trying to pull up our third party risk program, and that's not I'm not in third party, but they're part of our team on the other side. And the process is when they're going through the process, I was like, oh no, you guys are doing this wrong. That's why you have so many problems. So I wanted to really speak out and start saying, oh, this is what you need to start doing, this, that. But I mean, it was not my place, so I just kind of held myself together. But I'm just trying to tell you that I could really do that job too if I really wanted to. So the years of experience should deter you. I mean, you get all the information you need if you go through a written. So
Okay, so basically, what you lack in years of repetition, or just saying, I have the years of experience, you can easily make up if you work on enough projects and you work on them the right way.
that is right.
Right.
That is right.
Now, okay, so moving on, if you can walk us through when you completed, and I was even, I think we had your video during your own graduation, some of this, speech and how you're talking about the program. And then when you got a job, we have almost everybody's. Now, when you were done with the program, right, after graduation, you and your cohort, some people will start applying to jobs as soon as possible. Other people, they are my people who will just come up with all sort of excuses. Right. I have to write this certification. I have to go back to through the projects. I have to just not to apply. Right. And those are the people that I usually chase around with, a whip. And, some of them, almost not I'll be rooting for everybody, but some people will just fall off the wagon and you wouldn't hear of them. And sometimes, I will once in a while, when I have the time, I'll reach out to some people that I could clearly remember because they were spearheading everything in terms of projects that they were doing during the program, right? To check on them to see how they are doing. Now, my question is, when you were done with the program, when did you start applying? How was the application process, the interview process, and eventually landing the role? If you can walk us through that.
Yes. So I would advise that when you get done with the program, you start applying immediately. Well, I personally started applying the week after. Immediately I got through because I didn't want to hesitate. And like Dr. Adu said, all those excuses of going through projects, certification, and all that wouldn't matter at the interview, because at the interview they just really want to know what you know or what you can do. And I remember going through that process. And also, this is another thing, was that Dr. Adu always says you can reach out to him, he can give you interview preps and stuff like that. And when I actually did reach out to Dr. Adu, he did reach back to me, and we'll go over, the job description, and he will ask me questions. It will really make me think of it the way the job description is actually telling, not just like an applicant, but also people that you're trying to you're trying to work for, how their thought process would be and what they would really want. So it really opened my eyes to really how I need to be answering those questions. And that helped me quite a lot. I did like 2 or 3 sessions with Dr. Adu during that period, and it was very, very responsive. And he helped me, he gave me a lot of tips. So, and also because it was fresh, I was just fresh out of the graduation cohort. It made it easy for me to remember everything I've done. I could go through my whole spiel, and I was doing this over and over again. Like it was not like second week. You can just wake me up, and I could just start spilling everything I did. And sometimes they'll just be like, "What experiences do you have?" I'll just start. Like I go on for 30 minutes unless you stop me. Straight, and I'll tell you the whole process because it was just becoming second nature. It's like muscle memory. Once you do it over and over again, you get better and better. And also with the input Dr. Odu gave me, I added that to it. It even made it better. So yes, I think you should just start applying it as soon as possible. So that way you can just put in all what you have learned, and the faster you do it, the better, because it's right there and it's fresh, and you will knock the ball out of the park. Like I said, the interview I did, my interview for the job I got. Actually, I was on vacation. I was driving, and I got a call, and I answered it in my car, and they were like, "Oh, are you ready for an interview? Just want to just do like a real quick screen, maybe 10 minutes, whatever." I'm like, "Okay, fine." I didn't even stop. I just kept driving. So I did the first screen that way, and the lady was like, "Okay, we'll call you back," and she said the time. And she said the time, and I knew I was going to be on the road, so I had my laptop ready, but I was still driving. So when she called, she was like, "Okay, the interview is about to start." I just parked somewhere, just turn on my laptop, and she's like, "You still in the car?" I'm like, "Yeah." Well, I'm driving back on vacation, and I did the interview. So I did my first interview that way. So I remember, like I said this, I think I said this in the last time too. She was like, "Okay, this is going to be our final interview. You're going to be interviewed the CSO, and all these people are going to be there. Please don't be in your car." I was like, "Okay, fine." So I did take that one in my car. But just to tell you how relaxed I was and ready for it, I wasn't really stressing or panic or anything, because it was already built-in memory, and it was also fresh. So I would say apply as soon as possible. Don't make any excuses. You might make mistakes the first time. Yeah, that's fine. But you become better the more interviews you take. And also be ready to get some no's. You get some no's definitely, but you definitely get a yes. You definitely get a yes.
Okay, so how many jobs did you apply to, and how many interviews did you go before you were able to finally land this one?
So I applied to a couple of jobs. To be honest, I didn't apply to so many. I can't remember exactly the exact amount, but I got maybe about 5 interviews that I went through. And out of those 5 interviews, I got 2 offers. Well, I took this offer because it was more flexible. And yeah, even the second offer, they wanted me to move to Austin. They wanted to pay me really good, but at that time, I didn't want to move to Austin because of my family and stuff like that. So I decided to take the more flexible one.
Okay, so you said that the man was pretty good. How much were they offering you for you to move to Austin?
They were offering me 168. 168.
Okay,
And that's just
so
base, not including stock and the rest of it. It was a big company actually. Yeah, it's one of those cloud services, the big one.
okay, okay.
Yes. So I was
So
going to be
how
doing
is
like
that?
risk assessments for them and stuff like that.
And like, what was that role again?
I was going to be doing risk assessments.
Risk assessment. Okay,
Yes.
okay, okay. So how did it feel like to get 2 offers? Trying to
Oh,
break into this, and now you have 2 offers. The dilemma is to choose between to go to left or to go to right.
yeah. So it felt good to have 2 offers out. I was telling my family, hey, maybe we need to move to Austin. you know. But yeah, it felt good. Because I didn't really expect to have 2 offers that quick, and also, like I said, I only did 5 interviews. And to be honest, after I got 2 offers, I didn't follow up on one other interview. I just left it the way it was, because I was like, I'm ready to start work right now. So I left one of them hanging. So I had one offer. So it's basically I was like pursuing 3, then I lost maybe 2. So and those other 2, I think one of them was my very first one. I wasn't really ready. I didn't, I think, and also the first one I didn't contact Dr. Ado on that one. I just kind of winged it on my own. So I was like, okay, I need to really come up with a game plan. And that's when I started contacting Dr. Ado and he started giving me some strategy on how I should go about it. And I think that really helped me improve my chances as well.
Okay. So, and we know for interviews, for every company, at least you do 3 interviews. Was yours the case? Did you do 3 interviews? And if you can walk us through your technical, your non-technical, and then maybe probably the first one would be your pre-screening sort of. What was the interview process like?
Yeah, so the interview process, like the pre-screening was the one I was telling you that I did in the car. He was just kind of telling me what have I worked on, what domains have I worked in, am I comfortable doing risk assessment? Am I comfortable with any frameworks, things of that nature? It was just a general interview. That was the first one. Like it was about 10, 15 minutes. It wasn't too long on that. Then the second one was with my immediate boss right now. It was more tech. The second one was actually more technical, and he was asking me questions about like validation, going through the process. How do you assess risk? How do you use the risk register? What is the risk register? Things of that nature. Um, how would you make sure that an issue is properly validated? Like for instance, if you do vulnerability testing, how would you make sure? You have to do it again to see that vulnerability has been taken care of. And how do you reach out to stakeholders? I mean, so it depends on the room, what stakeholders you're talking to, if they're technical, if they're non-technical. So you have to dumb the language, like Dr. Adu would say, if they're not technical, and if they technical, you have to be really on your technical game, things of that nature. And also ask me what kind of issues have I dealt with. And I just kept bringing up those issues that we did in call. Really, that's all I just brought up. Every single one of them. They're like, okay. I think I got you got a pretty good idea. And it was amazing because it was just like already knew that those were the issues we were going to be dealing with. So when I started working, I now realized why they hired me, because it was pretty much the issues we were dealing with. So it made sense at that point. So that was the technical one. Then the third interview was with my boss and his CSO, and basically it was not tech, it wasn't technical, it was more like stakeholders, because I do a lot of meeting with higher stakeholders, and it was just basically asking me how I relay information. They gave me like some scenarios how I would relay that, and I just kind of broke it down in like dumb language, like Dr. Adu has taught us in the past, and telling them this is how I relate it. Maybe put in a chart, put in into pie charts or something like that to make it easier, percentages, and also back to the risk register, also relating it back to um, financials, if there's any financials involved, and whatever impact it will have, on the organization and things of that nature. So that's kind of like what I do now too. So I mean, they were impressed, and that's pretty much how I got the job.
Okay. So, I have some questions in the chat that I'm going to go through really quickly. So the first one is how many interviews did you do, and the phases you kind of explained that. Uh, what are some of the difficult questions, or what were the most challenging question for this particular job, if you can recollect any?
So I think um the difficult question would be, well, let me see. Difficult question. I really can't remember anything being so difficult for me to answer, but I think it was more like scenario, like based questions. Yeah, so just kind of answering them to actually get a solution out of it. I think that they were just looking to see how you apply yourself, how you your process, your thought process, and how your process of thinking or working would be. I think the question I remember them. I'm just trying to think if I can remember anyone specifically because it's been a while now. I'm trying to think if I can remember anyone specifically. I think it was based on encryption. They had like some questions on encryption and what standard we're using. Like I already said, this was something that we already had a discussion with in the cohort. So that was something I just answered. So it wasn't really difficult. I didn't really have a difficult question in my opinion. So that's what I'll say to
Okay.
that.
And then Ramsey is also asking, how did you know true job ad from a spam or a fake ad site?
Oh, so so those sometimes you have to be careful with those true job ads. So I try my best to do my due diligence and see if I can get the same jobs on the website itself, on the job on not on job boards, but try go directly to the employee's website and look for that same job. So that's one way I do it. Another way is like just looking at the site, the website, and verifying that that website is real. Like I Google it, I research it just to make sure it's not a fake job or a fake site. But sometimes I haven't been victim of this, but I've had like family members be victim of those fake job sites before. So I just try to do my due diligence to make sure I don't get a victim of that.
Okay. And then also to add to that, so one red flag, if anybody reaches out to you for an interview, and before you even do any interview, they are asking for your credentials, i.e., send us your social security card, send us your passport, your permanent residence card. I mean, that is a big red flag, right? We need that before we proceed with the interview. That is a red flag, is a lie. No company has that room and time to entertain that if they are not moving you forward or giving you the offer. They don't have your time, right? So if they put out a job post, you are coming there just for an interview. Like the most they will ask is, are you legally allowed to work in the United States? That's it. Is it either yes or no? You don't need to, show any proof. Now, when they do give you the offer, then as part of the onboarding, you have to submit, the proof that you'll be able to work and everything else that they need. At that point, you have, and like Sarah also said, do your due diligence. Mostly, the trick to this is if you see a job post, go directly to the company's website and apply through them, right? Now, I know LinkedIn and all these other job boards, they try as much as possible to make sure whoever is posting a job, you are using your company's website and company's email. But I mean, that I can easily create a domain name and create a website with it. And scammers know that, right? So you just have to be extra careful. So anything that sounds to be too good to be true, sometimes they even will be chatting with you and they say, we've given you the job. Which serious company does that? A chat on WhatsApp to give you a job without an interview, cybersecurity job? No. Right. So, I mean, those are some of the ways to be able to. Now, Emmanuel is also asking, how many years of experience did you have on your resume? Right. And I think we keep talking about years of experience. Well, so, Cyril, how many years of experience did you put on your resume? So, your technical, non-technical combination, what did you put on there?
I think it was technical. I mean, combination probably about I think eight total, something like about 8 years. Yeah, 8 years.
Okay.
Yes.
And to add to that, to your years of experience, not necessarily just you working in cybersecurity for 8 years or 9 years or so years of experience is a way for them to gauge your level of expertise and experience in terms of what you can do, right? So don't get carried away. Do not say you're not going to apply to a job because it asking for certain years of experience and you don't have. Apply to it anyway. If they were just looking for years of experience to give you the job, then they won't interview anybody. If you just say you have 6 years of experience on your resume, they'll give you the job. It doesn't work that way. They'll still bring you in for an interview. During the interview, that is what you are demonstrating there is what is really going to speak to your years or non-years of experience. So whatever you put on your resume is fine. They'll bring you in for an interview. the years of experience is with you, not on paper. So what you've done and what you can do is your years of experience, right? So Delph is asking if your job includes coding.
No, no coding whatsoever.
Okay. So with that, we are going to continue with the questions. And if you have any questions, kindly continue putting it in the chat. So now you got a job. Walk us through for in processing, how does that or I mean, I say in processing, we do in processing the army. Here is onboarding, right? So for onboarding, how do they really go about it? Just for people who are not, and also for people to be able to know when some not so good people are trying to pull the fast one on them. So how is the onboarding and your first day on the job? How did that go?
Oh yeah, so for onboarding, basically, they before you onboard, they make you go. Well, I personally had to go verify my um, legal status. I had to do a drug test, things of that nature. Based on that, when I showed my ID, I did the drug test. Then they said they received it. Then they sent me some things to fill out, and I filled those out and had to go through like onboarding training for like a week of different things. And I met my boss. I met the HR department. HR gave me like a day training, just telling me what I'll be doing, what my responsibilities are. To sign a lot of paperwork, and after signing all those paperwork, they gave me like a week to go through some trainings on that. So when I did the training, then and I was put on the team. Then introduced to the different stakeholders, different teams, and their processes and things of that nature. It was basically a smooth process, but the onboarding process, you will know when you really um, get a legit job, because they're telling you what the next step would be after that, the next step after that, before you actually start. They also send you, and also before that, you would have got your offer letter and telling you how much you're going to make. And also, you fill out the information with all your details, your bank information, your personal information, and all that. So, after all the training was done, then I just got to working. So, that's how that went.
Okay, so first day on the job, how did it go? Did you cry for
Oh,
mommy or you were like, oh, where are you gonna take me?
no, actually, to be honest, first day on the job was actually pretty good, because um they said we're going to be working on some stuff. They had like some um issues that they wanted us to go through and see. And it was funny because I was expecting them to be well organized and well put together, but they're still in the development phases. And they were just showing me the risk register, and it wasn't all the way full. I was like, so you guys haven't done this. You guys have not even confirmed it. So I was just asking so many questions. They were like, probably say, who is this guy asking all these questions? Because I'm looking at the register and I know it's not all the way complete. They were like, "Oh, we're still working on it. We're still doing this. We're still doing that." A lot of things have to be put in place. So, like, I could see a whole lot of gaps. So I was just showing them where the gaps were. That was my first day. So maybe the next day I was like talking to myself, maybe I need to simmer down on this a little bit. So I now started taking it little by little with them. But just to tell you, yeah, the first day I was very relaxed. It was fun for me based on that, looking at all that.
Okay, so now piggybacking on what you just said, and from last week, what Isaac was also saying, it seems like folks going out of the Eretmis, space with your training internship, you have to have some situational awareness, because it seems like you guys go there and now it seems like you're showing off,
Yes,
right?
yes, yeah, it
Showing off
does.
to people who've been there for all these years and they don't know even a quarter of what you know. And it's like, why is this? This is wrong. That is wrong. That is. I
Yeah.
mean, how are you people able to do that? Because you just got there. These people have been there for 10 years, 6 years, 15 years. and you're the one pointing all the holes. This is that, and now they have to be careful talking to you, and not to say the wrong thing or to show their level of non skills or non knowledge in certain areas. So how is that possible?
Yes, so it's because of the training you gave us, basically how we need to go through this whole process. Oh, let me even give you a scenario which is recent. So they told me to go validate some process, and my boss gave me just a scenario, gave me the stakeholders involved. There were two of them, and I went to go validate. And I'm looking at it. They showed me this website. I read the whole website. I looked it in and out. I didn't see anything that was related to what I'm supposed to be validating. So I asked them, hey, what's going on here? So how do you guys really validate this process? So they told me, oh, this is what we do, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but there's nothing on this whole website. So why did you refer me to this website? So my boss had to come to the side, like, I don't think those people have anything in place. You just have to take it easy on them and let them put the process in place. So I was like, oh, okay, okay. Then I had to resend an email, say, okay, you guys need to put a process, you know, and they're working on it. So basically, like, and those guys being there, I was looking at them like 15 years, 12 years, you know. I'm like, okay, you guys do this every day, but you don't have a process. So just to give you an example. So yeah, so sometimes I just feel like you're showing off. And I think it's because you know what the right thing looks like, and going through the experience of the court, you know what you're supposed to have or what you're supposed to get. And like even when we're going through like the inventory process and showing you the gaps or whatever we were doing during our cohort, I didn't really, like I keep saying it, I didn't really understand what you were doing, but now I understand because it was to show you that, oh, this is what it should look like, and this is what you have. So you need to get to this stage, you know, and that you can really tell as soon as you get there, you can say, oh, this is what they need, this is what they need, you know. So that's it. And going through that cohort really exposes you to all that, you know, talking these things through with your team members, talking these things through, actually thinking it through the whole process, using whatever framework you do use to actually figure out what you're doing and what the end game is supposed to be. It helps you a lot. So that's what I would say.
Yeah. So whilst other people from other institutions are struggling on the job and calling for money, now you folks are out there. We have to tame you down, literally. Like, hey, don't show off too much. Don't let right, and
Yeah,
you don't
literally.
even need help.
Yes, literally, you
Okay.
have to.
Yeah. So then that speaks to for everybody in your cohort who is still running around in circles to apply to jobs. Can they do this job if they get the opportunity like you've gotten? Would they be able to function for the people
Oh
that were
yeah.
in your cohort?
Oh yes, yes. If they go through the cohort, yeah, definitely you'll be able to function perfectly. It'll be really easy. Like I said, this is easier than what the cohort itself. The cohort was really intense. This is way easier. I can take my time, you know, to actually go through an issue and go through the process. Cohort, you have to come up with answers like almost immediately. So so this is way more relaxing. Way more. They'll be able to do their job comfortably if they go through that process. And I'm not just saying this because I've been through some other programs, like I said earlier, and I didn't really get much from it, to be honest. Some people try to teach you tools, or like I said earlier, third party risk, and not even the full third party risk, not even the real deal when it comes to third party risk. Like you get the real deal when you go through the cohort, you really go through the whole process. So you really can say you can do third party risk. It's not just learning what risk transfer or risk acceptance is, like going through the real process of going through third party risk. I'm just giving an example for instance. So if you go through the cohort, you'll be able to do any of this very easily, very, very easily.
All right. So we have some questions in here. Uh, Angelica is asking, what tools did you have to work with? Do you use Excel as well? So what tools are you using on the job?
So I use Excel crazy. I use a lot of Excel sheet. And that one I knew that because the reason I even knew about Excel was even listening to Dr. Adu's videos. A lot of guys were like, hey, you have to learn your Excel, learn your Excel. So I was ahead of the game on that one. So I started learning. I mean, I knew Excel a little bit, but I just started improving on my Excel. And it's nothing major. I mean, just going through YouTube, you can search for anything you want to search for Excel. That's one of my main tools. I use Excel. Now just started using Power BI, and that's just for because I deal with a lot of execs and they like to see all those reports. And it's nothing major, just clicking the fields that you need and just kind of putting it out there so they can get what they want. So I just started using that recently. And like I said, they even have like a whole tutorial on how to use it and all that. And I just used to hear Power BI, Power BI. I thought it was something complicated tool. It's nothing amazing. It's easy to use. I use that, but that's not that. Like I said, that's just for reporting because I deal with execs. Then I use ServiceNow as well, and SharePoint, which is Microsoft tool. I think those are the main ones, really. Then Teams. I mean, the rest of them like Teams and all those kind of stuff, just for communication, things of that nature. So. But the tools, like I keep saying, is not something you should worry about. I think the main thing is getting your knowledge. Knowledge is more important. You can always learn these tools. You can learn while you're on the job. You can learn the tools while you're there. And most times they even have like tutorials. Like I just started noticing that there are lots of tutorials on how to use all this. They have so many tools, lots of tutorials. I've not even had the time to go through all of them. It's not the most important. Most important is your knowledge and applying your knowledge, I think.
Okay, so piggybacking on that, if you knew how to use ServiceNow when you were getting this role, but you didn't know how to conduct risk assessment with a risk register or any of the things that you know how to do, how well do you think you'd have been doing on this job?
Terrible. You won't be able to. You won't last. You wouldn't last at all.
Even knowing ServiceNow won't keep you there.
No, even though it's service now in and out would keep you there. No, and the funny thing is service now. Just to give you an example, some of our execs don't even know service now that much. They'll be like, "Oh, you can add this, right? Oh, I didn't know that was there." They will tell you. So just to tell you, it's not that important. What's important is the knowledge and getting that through, because you can always get someone to teach you the tool, and you can always learn that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And to piggyback on that, did you know that the owners of the tool, whoever is selling the tool, they are responsible for teaching you the tool when your company buys the tool?
Oh, I didn't know that. I had no
Hmm.
idea.
Yeah. If you want, reach out to ServiceNow, their customer service, and tell them, hey, I'm working in this company. We are using your tool. I need training on this and that and that. They have some videos they will send you, or a lot of resources they will send you or point you in the right direction.
Oh, okay. That is good to know. But I
Yeah,
had no
because
idea.
if right now your company buys a tool from Eretmis, who is supposed to train the whole entire team on the tool? You're
No,
supposed to go learn it on your own?
no, the arrhythmias are trained, yes.
Yes. Because then somebody else, I'm not the only one, Eretmis is not the only one that has the tool. Other people have similar tools. So if it's part of your sales and marketing is not to train on the tool, then I'm not going to figure out how to use your tool. I will just go buy somebody else's tool. So that is to tell you, yes, you should know a tool, how to use at least one or two tools, but don't waste your time chasing tools. Right. Don't waste your time chasing tools. Spend your time chasing the skills of how to do the actual work. And that is what Cyril is talking about. Now, somebody is asking imposter syndrome. So you get there and you're like, do I really belong here? I'm new. How did you overcome that?
I really didn't really have that imposter syndrome, so to speak, because there was nothing they were throwing at me that I didn't know about. At least I had some knowledge about. So I really didn't get that imposter syndrome thing anyway. So that didn't really apply to me, really. Because
Okay,
because
so
it's always the imposter syndrome. I think is like if you think you're not supposed to be there and they ask you something that you have no idea. So I've never had that situation up till now.
yes, and to add to that, so yes, imposter syndrome. Yeah, you might, your mind will play some games with you, but imposter syndrome really becomes a problem if you don't know what you're doing. Right. So at that point, it's not imposter syndrome. You just don't know your job. Because if you know your job, yes, you'll be shaky maybe first 2, 3 days because you are, but then when you start executing, and because it's something you've done over and over, all fears and everything goes away. Now you are the one pointing them, no, it has to be this way. No, it is that way because you are very sure of what you're doing and you've done it a couple of times. Right. So just like going to an interview, yes, you have some level of stress, but if you really know what you're talking about and everything they're asking you is something you've done, something you know about, you will forget about the stress without you even knowing you've forgotten about the stress, right? The stress is just going to go away without all that fear, and that stress is going to just go out of the window. But if they ask you and you don't know, they ask and you don't know, no matter how confident you are, you turn around and you start stressing. Now you start to panic because the interview is not going that well, right? So the way around imposter syndrome is make sure your knowledge and your skills are intact. They are very solid. And imposter syndrome will run away, right? So we are going to Abraham. How was your experience with other frameworks you had not been exposed to before? Were you handed frameworks to familiarize yourself with on the job?
Yes, they had some frameworks. They were trying to combine some kind of Adobe, I don't even know what it's called, some kind of framework they had. But I mean, if you know, like when we went through the call, went through like 3 different frameworks: NIST, ISO, can't remember the last one now. CIS, there we go, CIS. So those 3 frameworks, if you go through a couple of frameworks, I mean, any framework they throw at you, just basically looking through it, I mean, you can pretty much run with any framework at that point. So it wasn't something, and most of the time they even took a lot from NIST, they took a lot from ISO, some here from NIST and here and there. So it wouldn't matter what framework they threw. But anyway, we do have a framework we're working on, and it's like a hybrid of different ones kind of put together. That's kind of like what they're working on, and it's based. The framework is easy to use once you have that in front of you. So
All right. Okay, Cyril. So now you're on the job. Walk us through your normal day to day, right? So you are up in the morning. How is the day like? And before that, are you working remotely or you are working hybrid or you are working on site?
so so I'm working mostly remotely. I put it that way because sometimes when we have like big meetings, I try to show up because my bosses show up in the office. You know, just because they showing up, I don't want to be the only one at home. so so that's why. But anyway, the and also my day to day really, most mornings we have team huddle. We have a huddle just to go over what we're doing for the day, any new issues we have, because I deal with tech risk and then the cybersecurity tech risk enterprise wide. So whatever issues we have and how we're gonna, what strategy we go about tackling them, and any follow-ups we have, and basically going through the day doing that first thing in the morning. Then go, if I have any meetings, I attend them. Then I go through my email and look up whatever follow-ups, whatever new issues we have. And we also have a board that it comes through ServiceNow, our ticketing. So I have certain issues I'm working on. I follow through with the different stakeholders, different issue owners, whoever is responsible, making sure they're going through the remediation. And whatever new issues we have to go through the whole process of seeing whether we're going to accept the risk, or we're going to transfer it, or we're going to mitigate, and things of that nature as well. So we go through setting that up, going through risk assessments, dealing with different stakeholders, and things of that nature as well. So setting up those meetings is what I do. Then following up on the different issues we have. Um, Meetings. I do not a lot, but I do quite a bit of meetings. So I might go. I might have some meetings during the day that I might need to attend to on that, and sometimes I have to build some reports based on the issues I have. So whatever issues we're working on, I might have to send in some reports, and sometimes I do some analysis just to see um, whatever the based on whatever the issue is on that. So my day to day is different every day. It's just depending on whatever task I have, and I set tasks for myself. So I'm kind of really they don't really give me tasks to do. I have to set up my task and meet all my goals on my own. So I'm kind of like working on my own, and the only things I need to do is just report on the issues that we're working on and try to get them either remediated, accepted, if you're accepting the risk and things of that nature, and go through the whole plan. And I go through that every day, pretty much.
Okay. And how many people do you have on your team?
So on my team, we are about 6 of us. 6 of us on my team. So my team is extended. Like I said, we have the third party side, and there's another like maybe 6 on the other side too, on the third party side as well.
Okay. And let me see. Okay. So whilst we are waiting on questions to come in, we are going to do a quick housekeeping and then we will get back to Cyril. But we appreciate all the insights you are giving us, Cyril. And if you are on here, you're trying to break into the security space, you can ask all the questions that you have for in terms of how you can go about this process. Because Cyril was in your shoes, like he was saying, he used to watch Cyber Chat when he found Eretmis. Now he's on Cyber Chat talking about what he's doing on the job. Right. So
That's
how does
great.
that feel?
That feels good. It actually feels good.
Yes.
It does feel
So
good.
great. Now, our 7-day challenge, AI 7-day challenge, we encourage you to jump onto this because chances are you are probably using AI wrong. And for folks who did join this, I think on Tuesday we did the demo. So they demonstrated what they built within the 7 days, what they were able to go through and learn. And the next cohort is starting on the 23rd. So we encourage you to join us. Now, these are our proud winners. Lama was first, Kofi second, Kieran was third, and then Louis fourth, and Augustine was fifth. The grand prize is a scholarship into the AI governance specialist course. And number second to fifth, they're also going to get prizes as well. Now, this is going to be our AI team. They are going to work on a really big project that everybody on here is going to benefit from. So you hear more about that when we start working on that project. So the new challenge is starting on the 23rd to the 1st. We have only 15 spots reserved for a discounted spot. So if you wait till the 15 is gone, then you have to, you're not going to get that discount, right? So if you go on the site, the link is going to be posted. You'll be able to take advantage of that. Now, our Valentine's Day sales is starting today, is ending on the 27th. So for all courses, you get 30% off. And if you want to get into any of the programs, like the one that Sarah was in, you can do so with a discount. And then also for our courses, we are restructuring the prices. We are going to have different tiers. So there's going to be something for everybody. We are not going to, increase the price to the point where, people cannot get in even when they want to because of funds. And we're also getting some more financing partners that will have lower interest rates and stuff like that. So we're trying to make it really accessible to everybody. Now, if you're looking to break into cybersecurity with no IT background, some IT background, we encourage you to look into the cybersecurity entry-level course. This course is run by us, but I can tell you for a fact, this is the best course out there to help you break into cybersecurity. No fluff, no BS. If you put in the work, you are going to see the results. That is what we can promise you, right? There's no magic. 45 days, you get a job, and right, all that is marketing gimmick. It is pure work, because if you don't put in the work, you cannot be working and feel free and easy and happy like Cyril and everybody else is enjoying, right? If you don't put in the work, then you become a working heart attack. If you take a shortcut, you become a working heart attack, right? Till they fire you from the job, you are going to get high blood pressure. So, and you don't want that. You went in there to make a better life for yourself and your family, not to get some kind of illness on top of that because you tried to take a shortcut, right? So our entry-level course from start to finish will make you a full-blown cybersecurity professional. And then also, if you took some training previously, you had some IT background, and you want to get your hands dirty working on some projects, this is where you are really going to, jump into the trenches and start digging. This is where you actually work on projects that is going to help you excel and become a rock star on the job. Now we have to tame you not to show off too much on the job, just like all our speakers from previous cyber chats. You can easily tell, right? There have been instances where Serial and others will speak and people will reach out behind the scenes and say, "Are you really sure these people are new in cybersecurity?" Yeah, there is really no way you can tell me. And yes, of course, they are telling you the truth. I mean, we can't pay Serial enough to create everything that then he might be a really good storyteller to create all these things from scratch. You can't pay anybody enough to just, and you will see through it. Everybody here is not dumb. If somebody is talking nonsense or even rehearsed and coached, you will see. I'm asking serial questions without even, I don't even have any questions. And he's an open book. You can ask him anything and everything. And he can speak to it. He's doing what he's doing on the job because he has the real world hands-on experience, right? And this is what the GRC internship and workshop is going to give you. And then also Serial is going to come back and do the cloud security and then come back and also do the AI governance course. Because when you get on the job, you don't have to relax, right? Don't let everything get way ahead of you before you try to catch up. It's good to stay ahead. Now, even if you're trying to break into cybersecurity, we encourage you to go through entry level. Once you're done, you can jump onto any of these advanced courses like cloud security and others, right? And all our programs are very hands-on because, I mean, without hands-on, just your knowledge and theory is really nonsense, right? For lack of better words, because it is really useless on the job. If Serial went there and they were like, hey, help us with a risk register, help us restructure our whole entire risk management setup. That is not where for you to be, schooling them on the theory and the concepts of risks. Yes, all that is good, but do the job. And that is where the problem comes in, right? Now, for AI governance is here. AI is here to stay. We are using AI in every company to do a lot of things. AI governance is also starting off just like how cybersecurity started penetrating around 2010. Don't wait till it is way past and you are trying to chase the tail of AI governance. AI governance is gradually becoming a part of the role that cybersecurity professionals have to perform together with their security duties, right? So AI governance, if you want to stay ahead, you want to be, that specialist, that professional in your organization that is going to help them maintain AI governance within the organization, then we encourage you to jump onto this. So you can start this even if you don't have any cybersecurity background or you have some cybersecurity background. And then our PCI, our payment security compliance, if you are looking to specialize in the most lucrative niche, as Sarah said, one of the roles that he got was 168. And you might figure, why 168? What if I told you there are professionals who went through PCI who are making 250, 260, 300? One job, not two, one, right? And even those people, they are being shortchanged. They'll get a job, they'll call me, they are so excited. I'm like, man, they could have given you way more than that. Well, Dr. Edu, until they start working and they're like, they'll call back, this VP is making 450 and he doesn't know anything. Like, yep, told you. Right. So if you're looking for the most lucrative niche, now with this, you have to have, a really good IT background, or, you have to already be in cybersecurity to be able to get onto the PCI program. If you want to get into PCI, you have to start from the entry level before you build your way up to this point, right? And then our WhatsApp group is going to be posted for you to also be able to join as well. Now, let's get back to Serial. So if you were starting today, right, knowing what you know, going through the whole process and being on the field also working, because you said during the internship, you really didn't, you were following what we were doing, you were, giving your best, but you really didn't understand the whole science and the concept behind it until you started working. And that is what most people, get to find out, including Gabriel. During Gabriel's time, they will literally, hijack the presentations on the weekend and say, Dr. Edu, but we have to be using these tools. And because probably he was, watching too much YouTube videos somewhere. Because some people will tell you, yeah, you have to, your ServiceNow is what we use for in cybersecurity. If you don't know ServiceNow, then, right, anybody who has actually worked in the industry will tell you, don't worry about the tools. Just focus on the skills you are going to gain, because that is what you are going to be using on the job, not the tools. Because for the example that I always give, you can learn how to use a stove and a rice cooker and a blender. That doesn't mean you can cook anything, right? You can learn how to use ServiceNow and learn how to use Nexus, and it doesn't mean you can do any cybersecurity job. Using the tool is not the job. The job is the thinking part of it, the putting two and two together, the critical analytical part of cybersecurity, that is the job. Because if we tell you to conduct third-party risk assessments, you are not doing it, in a vacuum. You have to do it in context. Now, if you don't understand the moving pieces, you don't understand the context. You don't understand the first step, the second step, why we do it. You are really of no use. Even if somebody tells you the steps, or you go to ChatGPT, gives you the steps, how do you really execute? That is the job, not use it. And at that point, no tool can help you. Like any tool, not even ChatGPT, no tool can help you if you don't know what you're doing. Now, if you know what you're doing, a tool will make it easier. A tool will augment what you're doing. But if you don't know what you're doing, you're on your own. YouTube cannot help you. Nobody can help you at that point, right? So that is why we always stress on gain the skills. And you can't gain the skills without the knowledge. So the knowledge first, and then work on some projects. Even if you don't come through Eretmis, go find some projects and work on, right? Either than that, you can find a shortcut onto the job, but the system is going to spit you out eventually with a heart attack, right? And you don't want that. So as Cyril, you can go ahead. If you are starting off today from scratch, what do you think are the right steps that you are going to take, and how are you going to go about it? So for anybody who's trying to start today, what will be your advice?
Like from scratch, not knowing anything about cybersecurity.
Yes.
I would say if I was starting from scratch today, in fact, somebody even asked me this question. I just told them to go and register with Dr. Adu. That was my answer. I think she probably is in your class right now as we speak. So I just say go register with Dr. Adu and take his course and just go through the process. Go through the process and work really hard and assimilate everything. And as soon as you get done, just start applying. Because like I said, I had all that IT tech experience. I've been through so many trainings. Even some friends that I had that were in cybersecurity, I even asked them for advice, and now they gave me some advice, but it didn't work out. So I just figured I had to figure this out on my own, and that's when I started doing my own research, my own due diligence, and I found it, like I said, on YouTube and started listening, and I registered. So it wasn't until I went through the process I really understood what you were doing and how you were doing it and the way you were arranging. So getting the knowledge from the start that way and going to do, I think, is the best process to go through. And once you get through that, you'll be ready to go for the job. You'll be really ready.
Okay. Thank you. And because you said friends, I just wanted to ask you a question on that. Now, your friends who were in cybersecurity before you got into cybersecurity, going through the program, even before you got a job, when you spoke to them and you wanted to discuss cybersecurity stuff, how did that go?
Oh, wow. So they were just like they were the ones that told me to go and take that third party risk class, and I took it and I really didn't get anything out of it. So I kept wondering, how are you guys doing your job? But it wasn't until I got in the field and I kind of understood it. So some of them are just kind of hiding, working hard, like you always say, working hard attack, you know, every day, not really know what's going on, just pray they keep their job the next day. So that's how they're managing in there. But if you really have the knowledge, you'll be very fine. You'll be okay. You won't be working hard attack. You just go do your job. And they lack a lot of knowledge because they're not exposed to anything else. For instance, they're just exposed to third party risk, and they're not really exposed to third party risk. Like I said, they really don't know the real process. So yeah, so I feel like going through your program actually really did expose me to a lot. Going through everything, like I said, I mentioned just not only technical, the soft skills you acquire and the knowledge base you acquire once you're going through that, the practical knowledge, the practical skill, and applying that in real life, all that helps. All that together makes it really perfect.
Thank you, Sarah. So I think what we've not touched on is certifications. When you apply, and what certifications did you have?
When I was applying, zero, none, and
Okay.
none.
And they didn't ask you because you don't have a
No,
certification, we're not going to give you the role.
no, they didn't ask me for anything. And up to now, they don't ask me for anything. They didn't ask me for anything. Although they did say that, I mean, if you want to move up the ladder, yada yada, some certifications, would be nice to have. So none.
Okay. So, I mean, now for everybody, when we say this, people think, yeah, Dr. Edu, you are going off on this again. But this is real world, real life. Maybe Dr. Edu is just tripping when he says certifications are good. Don't get me wrong. I have a couple of them. They are good. But certification shows you are continuously learning, which is excellent. But certifications without hands-on and not being able to do anything is really useless. So don't memorize test questions and go pay for certification exams whilst you can invest that money in gaining the skills that will get you the job. Because I know people with 5, 6 certifications, and when they reach out to you for help, they are really proud of, I have Security Plus, CISA, SIM, and they keep listening and I'm okay. And where are you working? Nowhere in cybersecurity. Right. They need help. Test their security knowledge, just knowledge, not even skill, and they're all over the place. You ask them cybersecurity kindergarten questions, and they don't know their left from the other left, right? But they have all these certifications. And at that point, I know how you got the certification. Yes, memorize test questions. Go say if you're lucky, all the questions come, you pass. And I mean, industry players like myself, you know what is going on. People are even paying $2,000 for somebody to write certifications for them. And that kind of really beats my mind. I'm like, okay, so why would I pay somebody 15,000 to get a pilot license for me? What am I going to use it for? To, to fly a boat or to drive my car? I'm definitely not flying any plane anywhere. That would be suicidal. So, I mean, why pay that money to get the license? For what? To put it in your living room and show to all your friends? Hey, did I tell you about my pilot license? That is about it. So, this is a funny way for you to put that in perspective. Don't chase certifications. Certifications are easier if you have the real world hands-on experience. If you are writing a certification exams, you can relate to the questions, you understand the questions, you understand the intent behind the questions. So you don't have to memorize test questions. You just have to, if you do practice tests, it's just to, polish up on your speed and just to see how they frame the questions and stuff like that. Not to just, because people, they mistake the cybersecurity industry for the health industry. They think if you're a nurse, you get the state board. If you're a lawyer, you get, so in cybersecurity, you get this certification and it doesn't work that way. Cybersecurity is the wild, wild west. If you have a certification, yeah, more power to you. God bless you. But that is not going to guarantee you any job. Same thing if you have a cybersecurity degree. Yes, I mean, excellent. You've shown that you are trainable, you can stay in school and get a degree, but what can you do? That is what, employers are looking for. So until the industry gets saturated where they have the luxury of saying, well, Syria, we think we can do the job, but Dr. do have the degree. And the industry is not close to that by any time soon. And with AI and everything else jumping in, AI also needs security. Everything else that they keep adding on also needs security. So now we need more security professionals than people think AI is going to replace anything, right? So thank you for that, Cyril. Now going
No,
to
I just
okay,
wanted to say, like, in our
yes, go ahead.
cohort, I was going to say in our cohort, we had someone in our cohort that had a bachelor's degree in cybersecurity. I
Okay,
mean,
so
he even went through our cohort. So, like he
mhm.
was saying, he had the degree, but he couldn't really do much with it. So, just to relate to your point, what you were
Yeah,
saying. Yeah.
yeah, and I speak to people who have one guy had two master's degrees in cybersecurity, and guess
Wow.
where he's working in cybersecurity? Nowhere.
Wow.
And if he's given any role, he's going to be a working heart attack.
Well,
So, a degree is good, but get in the industry before you go get your cybersecurity degree. That has always been my advice to people. Right now, some people think if you have the degree, then they're going to give you the job. Even if, be honest to yourself, even if they give you the job, what are you really going to do there? And that, brings up my next question. Cyril, people think when you get a job, they're going to train you on the job. What training did you receive on the job to do what you're doing?
no, nada, no training. Not one
So
day of training.
nobody showed you how to do risk assessment and all that.
No, they didn't show us how to do it. No. In fact, they were asking you how do we improve this process. They were asking you for improvement. No one showed me
So
anything.
they are, or first day on the job, they are asking you for some deliverable. How would you help us do this? How would you?
Yes. How do you see? How would you improve this process? What do you think we could add to this? So there was no training, zero training.
Yes, because they are paying you all that money, knowing you are the expert you say you are, coming in to help them, not the other way around, right? And like the funny example that I also give is, Sierra, are you going to hire a driver? And then when the driver comes in, he's like, okay, sir, I'm all done. I've done onboarding. I'm ready to work. When do we start the driving training? What? Want me to train you how to drive and pay you 100K plus? Really? No,
Exactly.
Sierra. I think Sierra has cousins and nephews and nieces that he can equally train and give them that money. He's not going to
Definitely.
train. Right. So, which industry does? Okay, so I think Andy is asking which industry you work in. Is it a banking industry? Is it insurance?
Telecom.
Telecom. Okay, the telecom industry. All right. So, I think we've answered the certification questions already. Any other questions from the audience? Oh, Raphael, please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, doctor. Hi, Cyril. Congrats.
Hello.
So
Thank
my
you.
question is this. After Eretmis internship, how did you, how will I say it? How did you cope or try to continue with your knowledge upgrade? With what? Or how did you, in all the projects, how did you perfect your skills or hands-on on them after the Eretmis trip? Because someone like me now, I've been doing a lot of things, trying to do certification, trying to go into more internship, just to keep up the knowledge. So how did you do yours? I don't know that you get my question.
Okay. Yes, you're saying that how did I keep on my knowledge after the
Yeah,
cohort?
all around the projects, TPR, risk assessment, research. How did you go on polishing your skills?
So what I did personally, I kind of like went through all of them over again, going through the whole process. Like if I just like put scenarios, sometimes I even use ChatGPT, like, oh, give me scenarios for risk assessment and see whether I can like actually go through a process, for risk assessment, for instance, third party risk, whatever the domain is, just to get some practical training and also looking through the whole process, going through everything again, refreshing my memory and actually applying it to real world scenarios because I was just imagining the scenarios that we had in the cohort and trying to figure out how I can get that better. Also, reading, going through like the frameworks again and seeing if I missed anything, reading up on my own. Also, like even with certifications, like what Dr. Adu was saying, the only reason why I didn't pursue certifications initially was because I wanted to do what Dr. Adu says, work in the field first and then pursue. So right now, I'm actively trying to pursue some certification. So I'm studying on that right now. So that's how I'm improving myself at the moment. So it's basically just going through the whole process all over again and actually sharpening your skills on that and actually seeing how you can apply that to scenarios or real world scenarios. Or you can even Google like top 10 um, risk assess, top 10, let me just say top 10 cybersecurity interview questions they ask based on risk assessment, so for instance, and see if you can answer that. Just Google that and come up with your own scenario, come up with answers or things like that. So that's how I kept improving myself. And when I spoke to Dr. they also gave me some insights on how interviewers look at the interview. So I started improving myself that way as well, So just going through everything over again is what I did. And like I said, right now I'm going through certification, so I'm improving myself that way as well. So I don't know if I answered the question.
Your cohort members, you guys are not connected, as in you guys don't go through it together again?
So we did for a little bit. We went through. So after the whole call, we went through it for a little bit, but everybody started getting different schedules. And we're meeting maybe once or twice a month or something like that. But now, everybody's most people are working, most people have different schedules, but we still try to keep in touch here and there, talk to different members from my cohort. But initially, we were trying to meet as often as possible. But we try to go through everything again. But like I said, it's like how many weeks? It's a lot of information. It's a lot of information to go over it as a team.
Yes.
So I think go through it individually will help you and come up with a game plan and just imagine. I just try to imagine that I'm actually working. I'm trying to actually resolve issues and how will I go through that process? Kind of like that. That's how I envisioned it. And what I was using was like for me initially when I started was like interview questions to see how will I answer this in an interview? How will I use, for instance, risk register to answer this question? How would I really do that? Just to give you an example. So those were the things I did.
Yeah, I like that aspect you say your team members, you still come together and do one or two things. That is what I'm not saying my own group, but it's okay. I'm in another group and I'm doing fine. Thank you so much.
Yes. But like I said, you can also do it on your own too. Yeah. But yeah, we did come together and do that too as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No problem.
And to add to this, the best way to keep up with what you went through in terms of the skills you've acquired during the internship is to interview, right? So don't wait till you think you're 100% because you're not going to be the one rating yourself during interviews. So put yourself out there, right? As you are interviewing and preparing for interview, now you are forced to dig back into the projects you did, right? Go back, look at your portfolio. What did I do in this space? So that is really going, even if you don't have any structure, the interviews will force you to get some type of structure and for you to go through everything again, right? So that is the best way also. So even if you don't want the job, you don't want the money, just apply to the jobs and go to interviews for fun, right? Maybe somebody will say an amount that is probably going to change your mind. So that is one way to keep up. Because if you are just learning on your own is good, but you have to be testing it out on the market. And that is why we encourage everybody, even when you're halfway through any of the internships in any of the courses, you can start applying, right? I think when we had first started a PCI course some 5-6 years ago, I said the same thing, and we were not even in the internship. We were through the program. I think we're on our third or fourth module out of 8 modules. And like one of the students, he went through Eretmis, he had a job already, he wanted to do PCI, and he started interviewing. He went all the way to the 3rd round. He didn't get the job because obviously some of the things they were asking him were in module 8 and module 7 and 8. And we had not treated that yet. But that is how far he went. And he's like, okay, so now I'm going to take this thing more seriously because I've tested it on the job market and it actually works is what they are looking for, right? Okay. So the best way to validate whatever you are learning is to just go out there and see, right? So work on the resumes. If you are not getting any feedback, reach back out to us.
Okay.
We will re-strategize and then, keep pushing it. So when you start getting interviews, then like Cyril did, because I remember Cyril was reaching out and we're doing some job placement. And with a job placement is not go, look at just these questions. But if you do get me on the phone, you will think you have prepared for the interview, but have you? Cyril will tell you about that. And everybody else was like,
really? You think you're ready, but you'll be like, oh, I'm nowhere close.
Yeah, you're probably going to get off the call and be like, what was I thinking? What was I even, was I even preparing for this? Right? Because that is really going to, take your mind to different places that you wouldn't even think about for the interview. But that is, what is going to really, set you up for success during the interview. Osin, please go ahead.
Thank you.
Yes, hi, good evening. Thank you for the testimony. It's great to hear and very encouraging. I was going to ask, so I know you said, Dr. Du, a while ago that you'll be able to, I think to Raphael's point, like if you can't find people that would want to come together, I was thinking or was hoping you could like maybe create a group of past, cohorts that maybe they can't find people to kind of like, train together and things of that nature. Because I have been applying, I even use like AI. I think there's this AI app that automatically applies for you because it's so hard to keep up with all the applications. So I kind of use it as a co-pilot to apply, but I'm not getting any responses, right? So so it's kind of twofold. I'm afraid that I'm losing the knowledge and I'm also not getting the experience because I'm not getting any responses. So I'm just trying to understand like how can we best utilize each other, especially for those who want to keep practicing, but maybe the current cohort, their people are not, able to, but others may be in different cohorts and we don't really cross paths. So it's kind of hard to organize. I was kind of hoping that maybe Eretmis could help kind of organize that, not to necessarily oversee it, but just to kind of like connect everybody and say, hey, this is maybe bi-weekly, we'll come together, do some interviews, and we can kind of, if those who are interested will kind of co-facilitate it so we can keep the interest and engagement, if that makes sense.
Thank you.
Yes, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
So go ahead, Raphael.
I was supporting what she said. That makes sense.
Okay, so that is why we do this. And thank you for bringing that up, Osen. And so Osen and other people, Raphael and others, every year I have a bucket list. And there has been one, and the bucket list is people who have to, if you get off the bucket list, it means you got a job. Right. And I have some names on there, and mostly those folks, I keep an eye on them, and they are, yes, I keep an eye on everybody, but there are some selected few, because for them during the programs they go above and beyond, right? And I have that list. So for those folks, I'll be, we can organize stuff like that. So yes, thank you for bringing that up. That is something that we've been looking into. But I think we even have a better strategy for that. So it's still in the pipeline. But Osen, I know we've had one or two sessions or a couple, right? But for us, we're never going to get tired of you. So if you're applying, you're still not getting any results, don't necessarily try to do this on your own. Make the appointment. We're still going to take care of you, right? Our biggest payday is what Serial is doing, not the money he paid for the course. Wasn't calling and say, Dr. Edu, I finally made it. I got this job for 100 and I mean, how much can you pay us for that? Right. So we genuinely want to see everybody succeed, and I think everybody on here knows that for a fact. So, Osen, let's make an appointment and let's re-strategize. I think it was Steve. Steve, we had a similar session with him yesterday and showed him something totally different. And I think he's going to come back with a couple of interviews. So, and then we also have some folks who will get interviews like crazy, right? They just have to apply to one or two. And like you said, we are going to link you up. So maybe what you are doing and what somebody else is doing, you can, put it together and it is going to work, right? So yes, you can always reach out, but we will put something together. We will put eventually.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. So on that note, we are going back to Syria. Any last words for the community, for the group? Now, the links to schedule an appointment, to join the WhatsApp chat, to join the AI challenge. And for everybody, for folks who have completed the entry level, for internship, I highly encourage you join the AI challenge. even for the job application part and all that. It's not like we do the job application and all that, but the AI challenge will show you something totally different aside even your job applications, right? So it makes job applications a bit, you can put it on autopilot. Osin was talking about a site that will apply for you and you can create that yourself and even make it better, right? So look into that. Okay, Ransford, we will let you go before Cyril gives his last words.
Okay, thank you, sir, for the opportunity. Yeah, I just wanted to get a clarification about the 7-day AI challenge. What time of the day does the 2-hour classes start? I'm just trying to find out.
In the evenings, it's mostly 7 to 9.
Okay.
Yeah, so if
Thank
we
you.
start on Thursday, 7 days from that Thursday, 7 to 9, even through Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to be sure so that we can work to schedule something out there. Thank you, sir.
Yes, you're welcome. All right, Cyril, please, your last words on to everybody who is looking to jump onto the cybersecurity side. How fulfilling has this been? How has this changed your life in terms of life, work, in terms of finances? Has this really, been what you were expecting or what you anticipated in the cybersecurity space?
Yes, yeah. So this has really been an eye opener, like going through the cohort, going through the whole experience, getting that knowledge, getting that hands on. It took a lot of work, but I like the way it was set up. And going through the interview process and actually seeing the way the program is set up to actually make you succeed. Also follow up like what we're just discussing, like, the interviews and how you actually interview differently and see the interviews from a different light, all that helped in actually getting me the job I have right now. And also the work-life balance is great. I'm not relaxed. I say I'm not relaxed. I'm very, very relaxed in terms of I'm not stressed. I'm not a working heart attack because I've been there before. That was before I joined Eretmis, but now I'm not a working heart attack. I really know what I'm doing, and I'm applying my knowledge. And if you want to actually get into cybersecurity, I think this is the best program you can get into. Like anybody always asks me, "Oh, I want to get into this." Like I've always been hesitant to refer anyone to any kind of program, but now whenever they ask me, I just refer. In fact, I have someone in the program in the chat right now, in the program as we speak. So this is the best way to actually get into the field, to actually get fulfillment. In terms of financials, my financials are great, and for what I do, I think I'm getting paid well. And like Dr. Adu said, I'm going to come back for more classes so I can get up the chain in the ladder as well. So I think this would be the best program if you wanted to enter the cybersecurity space. Thank you.
All right, Cyril, we appreciate your time and all the insights and sharing your experience on the job and your journey with everybody. And if there are no questions for the group, I think there were some team lives in here. And okay, going through the chat. Okay, I think we went through all the questions. So we will be wrapping up. Kindly be on the lookout. All the trainings that are going to be starting this month and early next month are going to be posted, and then also the Valentine's Day promotion is also going on. Discount is going on. The prices have slightly gone up. We are restructuring all the courses, so there's going to be way lower prices than they used to be, and then the normal prices and a more premium prices that comes with other add-ons that you are going to know. So just be on the lookout. That way there's going to be something for everybody, right? Umlan, please go ahead and we will wrap up. You can kindly unmute yourself. Oh, you are still, I don't think you are muted, but we are unable to hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh. Can we talk offline just for 5 minutes?
I will be pretty taken right after this. you can shoot a test if it's something that they can answer for you. Either than that, you have to probably use the link to. The best way to catch me is to schedule the appointment.
I schedule an appointment for Tuesday, but I'll be busy that day. That's why I'm asking.
So you can shoot a test if it's something that they can we can resolve. Yeah, you can shoot a test and we can talk that way. Right.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Abraham, please go ahead. All right. I think Abraham had a similar question in the chat, I believe. Yeah, so the best way, if you schedule an appointment, even if I'm in a meeting or whatnot, I'll call you personally. Because if you took the time to schedule, then obviously we also have to, honor that. So now if you call, so the call, I kind of see the calls, but it doesn't all come to me on WhatsApp. There are people manning WhatsApp as well. But, if you really, hey, please pass this on to Dr. Edu, I will definitely get that message. Right. So we are open book. You can always reach out and, get hold of us one way or the other. So appreciate everybody's time. We are going to meet same time next week. Happy Vows Day to everyone, to your family and your loved ones. And we believe you've been able to gain something tonight for your toolbox. Next week is going to be Gabriel. Gabriel is going to let us know what he's doing on the job and how he also did this career transition. We've had some sessions where Gabriel contributed, and he's been on, I think, a guest speaker for different graduations. And Gabriel actually was the mentor during Serial's cohort. Gabriel was a mentor. He was a senior, so he came back as a mentor, and they spoke highly of Gabriel. He's a working, I think it was Michael who came up with that, says, Gabriel, talk to me, Dr. Edu. Gabriel is a working encyclopedia for cybersecurity. Like, yeah. So, see, so Sarah is also, adding to this. So, Gabriel, you don't want to miss the working encyclopedia of cybersecurity next week. Gabriel is also going to tell his story, what he's doing on the job. And we know he's doing great things, but we can't wait to hear what he's doing on the job. So on that note, appreciate everybody's time. Have a great and wonderful weekend. And we will meet next week, same time. Good night, everyone.
Good night.